ChatGPT again. How you doing? And Mother Wendy. Now, I saw Carlos King interviewing British Williams, and I was like, okay, now just let me turn on my mic because I don't think it's on. Testing, testing. There we go. So I was like, am I going to really get into this because this woman thinks she is a victim of the system, right? So let me give you a little backstory on British. According to her in this interview with Carlos King. Shout out to Carlos. Now I'm giving him his credit because I'm going to also, piece in a little few statements in here. Just some things that really disturbed my spirit on what she said. Now, I used to watch Basketball Wives LA. I didn't really watch after so much had transpired. I believe I stopped watching Basketball Wives LA uh probably not too long after it came on. I watched barely her season on there, and I don't recall a whole lot of what happened. And I don't even remember who gave Sunday the black eye, right? I think it may have been her. I don't remember. I don't recall. Oh no, my mic need charging. Please tell me this mic don't need charging. It just cut off on me. Anyway, um, yeah, yeah, I think it needs charging. Give me a second. Let me see if my other mic is charged up. Oh yeah, we have backup mics, but we have the little ones. But I know you can't hear me good, so let me see. Let's see what I can do. This takes, I charge up my mic all the time, so this must not be the one that I charge. I have one that I use more than the other one, and I charge it up every time I get through using it. So let's see if it's gonna work. Now, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted. Um, I didn't really watch the show when she was on there. I knew I was hearing things about her relationship with other ladies. She touches on that. So we're going to touch on just a little bit of her history on the show. And then we're going to get into her being the blameless victim. Okay. So let's do a little history lesson here. In this interview, she says that, she wasn't raised by her mother, and her mother never taught her how to do a whole lot of things. She was raised by her father, and so her kind of mindset, and you notice this, was kind of different, right? Because she feels like that she didn't get that motherly structure. So that's that on that. We're gonna fast forward a little bit. Then, not getting the motherly structure. She says that the first time she ever used a tampon was when she was 20 years old. So now we're building up to her, to me, giving invalid excuses as to why she did the things that she did. So, okay. So then she gets the show, right? After college. But let me give you a little backstory on her college history. Now, this made my antennas go up because I wasn't going to do any type of video on this uh, interview, but I'm coming to you from the perspective of someone who could break it down psychologically, okay? Remember, former mental health professional. So I can give it to you real and raw like I do from more of a psychological piece of insight. Okay. So she is in college, right? So she needs books according to her, she needs books and she needs to study and she needs housing. Okay. Like most of us who go to college, if you are in a certain income bracket or above that income bracket, then you don't qualify for the Pell Grant or the student loans. You have to be in such a, you know, it's almost like anything with the government, you almost have to be destitute. Okay. So I'll say this for me, when I was in college, I barely made the threshold for the Pell Grant because my mama only worked. When I first went to school, my daddy had lost his job. Okay. So the only reason why I was able to qualify for the Pell Grant is because she was a, they consider her a single income household. That's the only reason why. My whole life, other than them being laid off here and there, I come from a plant working family. Okay. So other than them being laid off a couple of times here and there, I didn't qualify for any government assistance growing up. No, I didn't even get to go to Head Start. Head Start, uh, no government cheese or anything like that. No cereal, no this, that, and the other. So, like, fast forward to college, I barely got in there, right? For the Pell Grant, which is the free money. Okay. So, apparently, what happened with British, being that her father was, you know, above the income grade scale, she couldn't get in by him doing the paperwork because he was willing. She got in by signing her mother's name, a mother who did not raise her. I think she said she was only with her mother for 3 years, and I think she said maybe from 7 to, don't make me lie on that. Um, it was she was 12. I think she might have been 12, right? So mm, roughly around 8, 9 to 12, somewhere in there. But 3 years in that window. So she wasn't raised by the mother. So being that she was in college, this income had to come from her father. This to me is what started her path into forgery. Okay, because what she did was she signed her mother's signature to the paperwork because her mother was under income. Well, her mother defaulted on the loan because she told, uh, I would assume the staff at the school, that her daughter had forged her signature. This was illegal, and her mother rescinded it because she said, British said, that her mother um, wasn't getting any money out the deal. Okay. So that's why she rescinded it. That may be true to a certain degree. But in my mind, she had to think that this was wrong. But from a psychological viewpoint, I don't think she did. Because during this interview, British justifies a lot of her wrongdoing. And this is my problem with her, her justification of doing wrong things. Now, down in the comments, people were saying that the people from St. Louis, young Farrell, who normally in school, but she had a doctor's appointment. And I just told her that I was about to go live. Just told her that. We get in trouble for having children in the video, especially since I said that this did not involve children, right? So anyway, when I do this, that means I'm about to get there with my young. But anyway, so move right along. Where was I? Oh, I hope I was talking about the loan. Okay, so this to me led her, but I'm backtracking a lot. This to me is what led her to not taking accountability and justifying her wrongdoing. Okay, so fast forward, she meets Lonzo. I think that's his name, right? Because, like I said, I didn't watch her season enough to know what his name was. And then when she came back, I didn't even finish the season because they were getting on my nerves. So at that moment when it was time for me to really, really, really get to know her, I didn't. But she also said that she was the youngest person to ever be cast on LA. And what they were trying to do was trying to get her to Orlando. Now, by this time, British had already had a lot of charges against her. So I don't know what she thought that was going to happen to make, get her to this process of getting to, excuse me, um, Orlando. Okay, so she meets Alonzo. We're gonna go through that. She has a daughter. Um, Alonzo was a major cheater. She cheated on him back. She had to get her leg back. And this is when he decided that he was not going to stand for it and he was going to break up with her, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking that it, like I do with all of these cases like this, British, I don't understand how it is that you could be living with a person and they see you coming in with all this Gucci little Prada and new trucks and all this type of stuff because he said that he was trying to take one of her trucks. When you see all of this, you don't have a question. She's like, I know you making money from the show. I know you have this boutique. I know you have an online boutique, but where's all this extra coming from? She was basically living millions of dollar lifestyle. But she justifies this by saying, well, I had to feed my child. I got to feed my child too. I had to uh, keep my home that was in foreclosure. Yeah, we all have those type of problems. So here's a question that I have, and I want you to drop down in the comments and answer this question for me because I don't have anybody in this live. The question I have is when you justify wrongdoing, okay, is it a reason to commit crime because you have to feed your daughter or, you know, keep your home? Is that a reason to commit crime? Now, I understand that you um, get desperate, right? You run out of avenues. You were the provider. Everybody else was living off of you, and now you on a sinking ship. Okay, so I'm gonna play this little piece right here, and this is what disturbed me the most. Okay, so let's listen to this. Oh, um, lying about the PPP loan in terms of not having the proper business to do so. I had my business for 10 years. And the other things that were included had a lot to do with similar to like stealing from like the elderly or stealing just from like, you know, people who aren't fortunate enough. And that's how it read. So that's why I wanted to really break down. I never stole anyone's identities. I never took any money from anyone who wasn't aware or had anything to do with what was happening. Let me pause right there and say, now earlier in this interview, she says that this also came about because of the social security numbers that she was using. And those social security numbers were her nieces and nephews, children that did not live with her. That's not stealing social security numbers. Then, like I said down in the comments, people were saying, it's not like y'all have four signatures. Everybody has done that before. No, not when I thought I could go to jail for it. Yeah, sign my mama's name to a bad test. But last time I checked, morally wrong, but is it illegal? Is it something that can get you put in jail? Uh, probably, probably not. Okay, so
Like none of that ever happened. I never stole anybody's identities. I never took anybody's social security numbers. I never went and stole somebody's information and put a money in an account and took the money. None of that occurred. And they absolutely know that none of that occurred because they went and talked to each person and talked to the like the thing when it comes to a federal case is that everything is in black and white. The discovery, the paperwork, everything's in black and white. You can read the things that were occurring, who they talked to, what they said. It's all documented. So I began to understand quickly that the prosecutor had a vendetta with me. It wasn't about whatever, because I watched her do other people cases that stole $2 million, and you asked for them to have probation. But when it came to me, she asked me to go to jail for 73 months. Because you're a celebrity? Yeah, and I don't think it's just because I was a celebrity. I think because it was a lot of media. It was a lot of promotion.
when I talk to y'all, that was a remote that fell. Christmas tree, a Christmas tree. When I talk to y'all about things that disturb my spirit, what she just said disturbed my spirit because it seems to me that this young lady ego is so inflated that she cannot see the forest for the trees. This young lady did not listen to her lawyer. Okay, she got back on the show with the ankle monitor. If you watch the show, then you saw I got up to that point where she did get the ankle monitor. Even then, she was claiming innocence when I had already seen many, many exposes discussing how she was on her online store, not shipping people products out, but keeping the money. You buy the products, right? And when you buy the products, you expect to receive the products. And she don't think that that's illegal. That part alone, okay, is illegal. Then she double talks again and says that it wasn't anything defrauding the government. Well, you defrauded the government because what she said was she cashed checks, right? Dealing with the IRS. You don't, but mind you, she said she hadn't stolen anybody's social security number. Now, what she tried to say was she got involved with this lady who told her that something was not illegal or this thing that she was doing with the CPN, it was a CPN, that this thing was not illegal, that this was something that you will have this number and it will clean your credit. Yes, I'm familiar with those numbers. However, when you began to work with her and started to run these numbers and your bank account grew from running these numbers, that became illegal. You were already on the cusp of doing something illegal when she kind of gave you that number to clean up your credit. Okay. But then when you start making money off of it along with her, this becomes a scam, almost like a pyramid scheme. But I don't understand why she don't think that's illegal. She said in that interview, when on the piece I just played, practically that she did nothing illegal. Nothing. She talked about Jen Shaw. Well, she talked about the housewife. So she talked about Teresa. She talked about Jen. And she was like talking about how they stole millions. Not her though. No, 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 no. She didn't steal millions. Mm. Just $3,000 that the FBI considered wild fraud. Now, mind you, Gucci, Louis, Prada, a high class lifestyle, and a gambling addiction. But mind you, she's just trying to feed her daughter. Okay, let's listen to a little bit more because I'm more so listening to the end pieces versus the history because I gave you a little brief synopsis of the history.
It was, I
I'm
don't think
just playing
that
the things
Missouri
that
Eastern
disturb
District has
my
ever seen their
spirit.
name in People's Magazine. So it was like, even on my court day, you might walk into a federal court and you may see the people have their family and friends there. But when I say that every kind of agency was there and all of them made statements after the fact and all of them had something to say, like it was clickbait. It was, it was publicity for them. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't think it's fair because I should be based off the crime of what I did, what that holds, or you know, ever in doing anything. And them just and the crime wasn't a violent crime, and the crime wasn't something that affected victims or affected other people's lives. So it didn't like I watch people that like, oh, they do like the elderly thing where they stole $8 million from them, or another person I took $30 million from the banks or
My
something like
battery's
that.
dying.
When we're talking, I watched a girl who stole 3.8 million get less time than me. Like I literally have been watching this happen over and over and over again, and I'm like,
Now, I don't know if she brings up the Chrysalis before or after this, but she brought up the Chrysalis. Babe, that show was about that family. Your show is an ensemble cast with many different women from, please tell me I didn't say women's. I mean women. Please tell me I didn't say that. But women from various income brackets through basketball because she also said that she was the first person to let it have an international player be on the show or be in a relationship with an international player. um she made accusations not in this interview but previously, accusations against Jackie about taking food out of her child's mouth. My problem with her, I don't see how this young lady cannot see her wrongdoings because she's talking about how the Chrisleys took millions and millions and millions of dollars, but that show was bigger than Basketball Wives, sweetheart. So if they were doing it just because you're this known celebrity, shouldn't they have done the same thing to them? I mean, shouldn't they have given them the 15 years that they were accused of or were supposed to get? Girl, you got 4 years. You still fighting against something that you still there. Well, what did you do then? You see what I'm saying? She naming everything that was in the deposition that she did not do. What did you do? Because later on in this statement, she's gonna say that had they given me a year, I would be like, what time? How long? Come and get me. But you were saying, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. You have ran off a list of everything that you did not do. But I'm still looking for what you did do. What are you going to take accountability for? Playing them.
I'm one of those people where I'm okay with saying that I was wrong or I made a mistake. Okay? But I want my consequence to match my crime. That's all. Don't overly it overly sentence me because of who I am and because you feel like I should be held to a higher standard, because the criminal system is not made for that. The criminal system is supposed to be blind, where you're basing things off of what you see on paperwork, what you see the person did, what you see if the person had a history of doing this, if the person has done this before. And it just makes me, I never understood it. We talk so much about black men in our society.
Here, right there. See, that's where the lack of accountability comes from. Because what she's not understanding is that you didn't have to be a celebrity for them to have their eyes on you, sweetheart. They already had their eyes on you. It didn't have anything to do with what you had done before and it not being a violent crime. FBI rarely investigates violent crime on a low level. Say, for example, you go out and pow pow your nephew in the street and somebody sees you. They're not going to come down here for that. Okay? If you pow pow your nephew and they probably like a government official and you know they are they have been watching you because you had done this before, that's when they'll come down and take over. Or they're real suspicious of activity you've had in the past. Sweetheart, like I said, they already had eyes on you before you talking about this little IRS thing, the little wire fraud thing about the $3,000 that she allegedly says the IRS put in on her. But is it possible that they were already watching you for the scams that you had committed against uh, the people that were buying your clothing, or the scams that you had committed against the children with the children? Now, now, a long time ago, yes, it was illegal. I mean, that was legal. You would, people would claim their nieces and nephews. Then it became a situation where people were overdoing that. They made a law against that. Then it became a situation where you could claim somebody that wasn't your relative as long as they lived in the household with you. This girl admitted that her nieces and nephew lived three doors down from her. If they don't live under your roof, it is illegal. Period. If you're not filing them on any other thing other than your taxes, illegal. If you're not sending them to school and you're not bringing in documents where they're going to school under your name, illegal.
And
This
how
lady
the
right here.
police or how the legal system really
Now
triggers
she
them, or
educating on us how the
isn't
legal system
made for
trigger
us,
black
but it's not
folks.
made for black people in general. Women, men, it doesn't matter. Like, and I've come, I never understood it until I sat in it and watched it happen to me, if that makes any sense. We see people like, I come from a community where I have a lot of people that went to jail for selling drugs, or maybe they shot somebody, or, they think, they look at these things as terrible because they are things that are horrible for our community. But when we look at, people who do things that are nonviolent, we look at, oh, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean, Teresa Guidance and her husband stole millions of dollars, and she
Here
got
she is
15
talking
months in
about
jail and went
Teresa.
to jail for 11 months. I don't get it.
Teresa from Jersey Housewives.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Now she don't get it. But Teresa is a celebrity. So which is it, hun? Did she get favoritism because she was a celebrity? Because if that's the case, then seemed like that would have been the other way around from you. For you, I think you did get favoritism because you was a pseudo celebrity. You got 4 years. You were facing 50.
Like the Chrisleys, 6 years,
Here,
and
listen.
they stole millions of dollars. Even though it was not about, it was millions of dollars, and they affected a lot of other people's lives. I just, Every day I have this conversation with myself. Every day I say to myself, damn, if I knew these were the consequences to the things that I did to try to survive, I wouldn't have done them. One thing that I hate that I see, and people's like, oh, she was trying to keep up with the Joneses, or
And she
oh, it's
was.
just for her to buy bags and purses. I'm
And she
like,
did.
no, absolutely not. This was me trying to make sure my sister could finish her master's degree from Northwestern. Me trying to make sure.
Well, she might have done all those other things as well. You know, the master degrees, the forger, to keep the house out of foreclosure. Closure. But if you was trying to fly under the radar, then maybe you want to have those Benzes and BMWs.
that we didn't lose our house that was in foreclosure. Me trying to make sure that that we were okay. Lorenzo didn't work for like 3 years.
Lorenzo,
Like
I
he
said
had went to a
Lonzo.
point, and I
Okay.
know a lot of people could probably relate to this if they've dealt with an athlete before. Once they retire, they don't know what to do most
Now,
of the time,
mind you, she
and they go
wasn't.
into these depressions where they are just at a point where they don't know what to do.
Now, mind you, she wasn't with Lorenzo when she got caught. When they started really investigating her, but she throws that in.
And I wasn't gonna just allow the entire family to just fall to the wayside.
Of
And I
course
took it
not.
upon
Let's
myself to
commit
do
crimes
things
instead.
that I didn't think I was gonna go have a 9-year sentence for, if that makes any sense, ever. Even some things that I didn't know were illegal, then things that I did know that were illegal, I never would think this would be the consequence.
You
Did
did?
Lorenzo know what you were doing? I've been telling you guys for months to claim this free $6,400. Anyone
Now,
can get this even if you don't have a job.
now this
This
should
is the
be
last
legal
week
too.
to apply.
Because we
This
know
is
this
due
is
to a
not
state relief
Steve Harvey.
subsidy for all Americans to get back on their feet by receiving free funding every month. You just can't be on Medicare or Medicaid and you'll qualify.
Now, Steve,
They send you $6,400.
Steve, come live.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not gonna pay
Somewhat.
$13.99 for premium.
It might have been some instances that he didn't know
That's a
anything about,
ripoff,
but
in my
like
opinion.
most of the time, I would say yes. Yeah.
How did you find out
$4,
going
the most I
going
spent,
down? Were you
$3.99.
contacted by the IRS? Did the feds come to your place of residence?
In 2019, the Fed showed up to my house, and they wanted to ask me some questions, and I was like, "What?"
Were they like in the movies in suits and stuff, or
They were. They were. It was two of them, and there was two investigators, and they started asking me questions. And
And by the way, this commentary is under fair use. Like, comment, and subscribe.
I was like, and then they came back and they wanted to talk, and I recorded the entire thing. So I still have it on recording, just as they probably do. And
Everything is alleged in my opinion. Like the video.
we had a conversation, and I was like, they were asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, okay, like what? I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Like whatever it was, if I knew, I knew. But if I didn't know. Like I would tell them. And we had that conversation, and then I don't know if it was because of COVID, but 2 years later, I got a call from my lawyer because I had put a lawyer on retainer just in case if something happened that like you've been
This
indicted.
chick
And I'm
fell
like,
out
I've
with her
been
lawyer.
indicted. He's like, yeah. He was like, the federal agents came today to my office and asked that we set up a time for you to turn yourself in to be able to do it. And I'm like, okay. So he sends me the indictment. I look through my indictment. I'm like, I'm reading through it like this is. I'm like, these are the things that they have on my indictment. And I'm like, the indictment itself was like, I don't know, $45,000 maybe, what they had come up with. Because I don't understand how they come up with these numbers. They had, even with my restitution, they said tax evasion. You haven't paid taxes since 2020. But how did you come up with these numbers? How do you know how much I made? Like, I don't get it. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things.
The I, R, and the S, the F, B, and the I, both investigating you. They know everything. Whether you know that they know everything or not, they know everything. That's why I call this chick Jen Shah Jr. Because her crimes remind me of Jen Shaw. And whether she says that she didn't steal the elderly social security numbers or not, I don't believe her. Like I said, everything is alleged in my opinion, and this is fair use commentary. You don't want your stuff used on YouTube when folks have a YouTube channel, then make it private. Because what the YouTube says, as long as you provide a commentary on the commentary, that is very legal. Let's get back to the interview. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Where it's fucked up. I don't know what other way to put it. This is a really, really messed up situation. And I want to be that fighter. One day I'm that fighter, and I'm fighting for people that come after me that says, you should be that you need to be sentenced based off what you did, not based off who you are. And then the next day I'm like, just turn me in, I'm ready to go. Like, just it's a constant up and down roller coaster. I don't even know what other way to put it. One day I'm good, the next day I'm not. One day I'm happy, the next day I'm not. It's in moments.
Now, I do feel bad for her child, but you wanted to live a certain lifestyle. You're telling a lie, okay? And I believe if she didn't want to live that certain type of lifestyle and funding her gambling habit, then that might have not been a different thing. However, it might have been a different thing. However, she was funding her gambling habit and her need to shop. And she is lying in this video because I remember her on the show talking about how she liked to shop. Your evidence is on the show, fool. The clothes you wore, the lifestyle you lived, the cars you drove. You don't think they were looking at that? They were looking at it like, hey, I know the IRS is turning in because she said in her first season that she made $6,000 an episode, and then they bumped her to 15, but she probably would have made more than that had she gone to Orlando, and then they won't allow her to go to Orlando because of her crimes. Okay. Now, Shawnee O'Neal says she was praying for her, and she gets a lot of strength from Shawnee's husband. Watching him on his good TV show, because he is the evangelist of all evangelists. So, now, you don't think they watching him getting that tax-free Lord money? Now, Shawnee came into the marriage with millions of dollars. Hope she kept it separate. Hey, Nicole Murphy. Okay. You see Tracy Edmonds held on to that Edmonds name, and she showed in marry Deion Sanders. Everybody says the people in Hollywood are dumb, not Tracy Edmonds. Now, it didn't work out so well for Kimora. But Tracy, at first I was like, why in the world is she dating all these other men in Hollywood, but still not marrying them and holding on to the Edmonds name? You better go, girl. Now, in reverse, I do give big ups to Melanie for letting go of the Hope name. And I think that's what Martell was trying to say, that you gain a lot of fame off of the Hope name. But girl, I don't know to this day what broke up Tracy and Babyface. So we can't really hold him to the same standard that we hold a hotel motel. Just saying. But I said all that to say that I'm pretty much disappointed in British, even after her being sentenced, this young lady has no remorse for what she did, but yet wants to appeal to the public to have her feel sorry for her not being with her daughter for Christmas. Child, bye. I'm just saying, maybe somebody out of my 92, yep, 92 subscribers now. Maybe come on. Get like the video. Give me up to 8 more and give me to 100. There you get commercial free entertainment over here, even though that ad was playing over the video. That's because I don't have premium. Come on in. Commercial free entertainment, commercial free commentary from a professional. Mind you, a professional that has worked in the mental health field, was a social worker, and worked in communications. Okay? So you're not looking at somebody that just popped on to the internet and said, hey, I just want a channel. Okay? I'm a journalist, like Portia, aka what Mr. Carlos said. Now, Portia got her journalism degree from being on shows and being pretty. Ain't got one degree. Ain't did one thing in the name of journalism. Can't wrote one article. But hey, get it how you live, girl. I'm not here to judge that. And I'm trying not to judge British. However, the way I had to hop on that short and talk about her lack of accountability, it is almost astounding the things that she said and how she is indeed, in my opinion, acting like the world owes her something and the world did her something to her. The only thing that the world owes you, girl, is you going to jail and you sitting in that jail and thinking about your crime. And hopefully you can come up with an answer on which crime you actually did, because you said that you committed no crimes. But yet, then again, you said that I would gladly serve a year. A year for what if you didn't do anything? I'm just saying. You did nothing, right? You didn't scam the government. You didn't take out a PPP loan because you owned a business. You didn't take out a PPP loan that was, you know, illegal. So we know you didn't do that, allegedly. So if you didn't take out a PPP loan, if you didn't, if you sent your clients their products that they ordered from you, if you didn't do wire fraud, if you didn't sign your mother's signature way back on your college loans, if you didn't do any of these things, what did you do to land you in jail for 4 years? According to you, the only thing you did was be a celebrity. Bitch, bye. Girl, stop. Don't do that. In the words of Wendy when that girl said to get your mama that bird. I just turned around and saw that on my shoulder. I like that. I like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Shout out to the Wildcats. We are for a state championship, 12 trips, 12 rings. Shout out to them again. Even though the other team says question mark behind it, but we're not gonna claim that. Now, British does say that she's gonna leave things up to God. And your Bible tells you that God abides by the laws of the state. Oh, oh my case was the biggest case that it ever hit Missouri. Really? Not that case that happened with Miss Rabbit's family over there? Your case was bigger than what Tim did? Ain't St. Louis, right? Yeah, bigger than that. She made some foolish comments about her lawyer. Her lawyer said that she wouldn't listen to him. She says that he will return her phone calls. Now, my children are in a guardianship case, and baby, when I tell you that first lawyer didn't return my phone calls either, so I feel her on that. That's why I jumped up the deuces. But at the same time, you can't blame your lawyer for giving you advice when he did contact you, right? She said that he was riding off her fame. This girl ego is to the moon and back, right? Girl, he got you for years. You should be kissing the ground that man walks on. I don't care if he was in Italy when you called him. He don't get a vacation for doing hard work. Would you think he's supposed to be at your every beck and call and he don't have a life? Girl, bye. Seriously. The ego, the ego, the ego. Out of this world. But anyway, I'm gonna close with that. Get the likes up, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Country Conversations with Diva D. I'm out.